Welcome back to Good Game Reviews. Here to do another game review. We are going to look at the Denver Broncos versus New England Patriots week 6 game. Final score is 18-12. Let's be honest. To say that this game is, was frustrating would be an understatement. I mean, it just didn't really look well from the very get-go. But before I get into all of that, I like to do the good and the bad. I like to start off with the good, tackle the bad later, just to cushion the blow. So let's go ahead, get into some good things, the few good things that we had from this game. Now, I will say if there's anything to really look at as far as good, anything to take away from this, it would be that at least as far as Nick Folk goes, he didn't lose this game. He didn't, put us in jeopardy of losing this game. He didn't have a lot of opportunities to kick. He had, the 2 field goals, but, other than that, he didn't really have a lot of opportunities to really, miss anything. And, the kicks that he did have, he made. So well done. I like to, shine some light on Jake Bailey, who also, had him a pretty nice game. He had a very nice punt. I forget how long the punt was. I want to say it was either 53 to 60 or something like that. It was a pretty big punt. As far as the set, I want to say the fourth quarter. As far as the fourth quarter, when I think that's when the Patriots really started getting traction. As far as just being able to make plays offensively and defensively, it looked like they was able to stop the run a little bit better in the fourth. It looked like they was, covering receivers better in the fourth. You had the 2 interceptions by JC and the late interception by Jonathan Jones, which, pretty much looked like, it set the Patriots up in a good position to make, somewhat of a comeback in this game. As far as, everything else, though, I mean, here's where we kind of get into the bad. Because while all of that stuff is nice, even this sack that you got from Simon and the, half a sack that you got from Bentley and Calhoun, even though all that's nice, it wasn't enough at the end of the day. And I think the defense waited too late to get involved in this game as far as stopping the run and stopping the pass through the air. You look at Tim Patrick; he had over 100 yards in this game, pretty much decimated the secondary through a good portion of the game. And you look at Phillip Lindsay, who had 100 yards on the ground, and it just looked like the Patriots D line was just hot butter. They just kept on cutting through it. It just didn't seem like they could stop anything. As far as the offense goes, I don't know what to point out. I don't know which one was worse. Was it the execution from the players? Was it some of the calls that were being called? I don't really know which one to really point out first, so I guess I'll just go ahead and get on the players right now. Cam Newton did not have a good first half. He didn't have a good third quarter. He only really got things going in the fourth, and that was mostly through trick plays that they were able to get going because the defense wasn't expecting it. He started moving the ball well. He started using his legs and all that, but I mean, it just seemed like at the beginning, he wasn't able to get anything done. He wasn't able to move the ball with his legs. He wasn't able to move it through the air. He didn't have enough time. And, I guess that would come from just the woes that they had to go through with the offensive line, all of the constant changing. They had to change it when they came back out in the second half. Illuminor goes down. He goes down with the lower leg injury. He's out. Then you have to bring in Froholt, and for some reason Froholt, you got Froholt playing at right guard, and then you have Anunwa playing at right tackle. As soon as I saw Anunwa, I'm trying to say his name, Awinu, excuse me, Awinu. As soon as you had Awinu at right tackle, excuse me, I had a good, I was already like, okay, this isn't gonna work out. I had a good thought, yeah, this isn't gonna look good at all, because Awinu is not going to win anything on the outside. He's way too slow. He's way too slow. He doesn't have the quickness to play at. I mean, that's pretty much why he is a guard. He's better as a guard. We look at Eric Flowers and we think, why does he look so much better? It's because they have him playing guard. Instead of playing on the outside, like how the New York Giants used to have Eric Flowers playing on the outside. We wonder why he looks so terrible, because he's just too slow. He can't work on the outside. He doesn't have that quickness, the movement, the hand technique, or whatever it is. But it just wasn't working for him on the outside. And the same thing can be said about Awinu. As good as he is, you just can't put certain guys on the outside. And they quickly fixed that. Going into the second half, they end up putting him back inside where he belongs. So you have Wynn at left guard now, where he's a little more comfortable. You knock Wynn back outside, and now you have Justin Herron on the outside playing right tackle, and Fort Hope at right guard, and you got Tooney in the center. I thought that was a little bit better. Going in, and it looked like it made somewhat of a difference, but I mean, it just seemed like that Denver line was just exposing that offense. I mean, it was clear that the missing of the starters, the missing of practice time, it just didn't seem like anything was on was in sync. You look at how the Patriots They just didn't seem to be on just they weren't clicking on either the defense or the offense. And yeah, practices it could be contributed to that, the missed practices. And then on top of the fact the Denver Broncos didn't miss any practices because they didn't have any cases. They got to practice for a whole extra week. Pretty much they got to practice for a whole extra week, so they had like 2 weeks of practices. Meanwhile, Patriots have like a few days of practice, maybe. So, I mean, yeah, it was obvious that they weren't able to get things going because they didn't have time to prepare like that. Zoom is only going to do so much, If I can put some more attention on not necessarily the players or the execution, but more on the coaching. Now, I always give Bill Belichick the credit he deserves, but in this game, I didn't know where he was as far as him and Josh McDaniels as far as like offensive play calling. I didn't know where their head was in this game. I'm glad he finally threw that red challenge flag, to get that touchdown. Maybe we have like KC flashbacks where he ended up having to waste a challenge flag on one play, and then didn't have another one when the refs completely missed a touchdown score. And you look at what happened in this game. Now almost happened again. Cam Newton clearly doesn't touch the ground, stretches out for a touchdown, and the refs just say, "Oh, short." That happened numerous of times on first downs, and that touchdown. It just seemed like they just weren't looking. It just seemed like what's happening with the refs right now. But Bill Belichick ends up having to throw that challenge flag for the touchdown, and he got it. But I mean, that's just a flag wasted because of poor officiating. And as far as Belichick goes, I still think he should have threw that flag, even though in hindsight it was good that he saved it for the Cam Newton touchdown. But for that first down, that was clearly a first down where James White pretty much stretches and clearly gets the first down, but the refs call it short. He could have threw it there, and that probably would have made even more of a difference than throwing the challenge flag on the score, because there was more time left in the game, and you have an opportunity to move down the field and possibly score another way instead of having to rely on that touchdown, late in the game. Also, the going for two after they had scored the Cam Newton touchdown, and the play that they called. First of all, if you're going to call a play so close, call another running play. Call another Cam Newton running play. Like get all those big guys up there on the line, power it through. They're not going to stop that. They're not going to stop it. I promise you, they're not. Instead of going for some inside short pass or whatever, it just didn't look right from the very beginning. Second, take the points. Just take the points. Kick the PAT. Go for two later on. But if you look at the flow of the game, it didn't really look like it would make a difference anyway. But it still was a poor decision on the Patriots side. And as far as Josh McDaniels goes, I don't know what his idea was, trying to run, play action, like it just seemed like he just kept on following the same thing every single drive, and it was clear that, look, Josh, this running game isn't working this game. Rex Burkhead isn't getting anything going. Damian Harris isn't getting anything going. James White isn't getting anything going on the ground. You're trying, but it's just not working. You don't have your usual guys out there. You don't have your Shaq Masons out there. You're just not getting anything going on the ground. So, let's, revert back, use a little bit more passing, do a little more, shotgun type plays. Let Cam kind of work it out with his feet every now and again, but mostly let's get this done through the air. I just didn't see it, and then finally you kind of see that happening, but that's a little later in the game in the fourth quarter, and by then it's too late. Now if I could go back into the positives as far as what the Patriots were able to do right, you see a lot of that bend don't break, but it was almost to the point where it was going to snap anyway. It pretty much snapped because you're looking at the scoreboard and it's 18-3 because pretty much it's death by field goals. You look at this game and it's very misleading. You say, oh man, Denver, pretty much handled the Patriots defensively, which, is true. But, you wouldn't say it was complete, just selection or whatever by the Broncos, because all of those points came from field goals. So while it was nice for them to not allow touchdowns in this game, which it was some close moments where it could have easily happened. Still, you allow them to drive down the field, and those field goals they add up, especially if you're not getting anything done as far as offensive wise. If you're not getting anything done, if you're not moving the ball down the field, but they're still able to move down the field, it doesn't matter if they only kick a field goal. Because you're just going to get killed by field goals then. You're not able to put up any points. You can't score any touchdowns. You can't even score field goals. So, of course, you're going to get killed by field goals. Yeah, but that just seemed to be, the whole story of the game. If you wanted just a short summary of the game, it was pretty much injuries happen, no intensity whatsoever, death by field goals, and that's pretty much it. But that's really all I got for this game. I wish I had a little bit more to give you, but I just kind of just kind of in awe of what I just saw. Hopefully this injury that Adam Butler got wasn't too serious. Hopefully the injury Jermaine Illuminor got wasn't too serious. Yeah, just unfortunate game, from beginning to end. Especially with the hopes of a possible comeback and then falling short. Yeah, just a hard game overall to watch. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, I'm out.